Hi rabbits, Research Turtle here. We are standing at the exact moment the virtual world violently collides with physical reality. From 2023 to 2024, our focus was locked entirely behind digital screens, operating with humans firmly in the loop, constantly asking which large language model was the smartest. The digital era is over. We have crossed into the physical era, where Agentic AI executes autonomously in three-dimensional space. The core question has completely shifted, and now we must ask, how safely and for how long can AI operate out here in the real world? For decades, Moravec's paradox told us that hard logic was easy for computers, but simple physical movement was impossible. We are finally defeating that paradox through a unified tech trifecta, mapping the brain and reflexes. System 2 is cognitive AI, where vision language models act as strategic planners, translating natural language directly into a latent goal. System 1 is the athletic AI, driven by diffusion transformers and reinforcement learning, using a hyper-fast 200 Hz reflex loop to control the robot's center of gravity and dynamic recovery. The proof is already on the factory floor. Boston Dynamics deployed their Atlas robot at the HMGMA plant. It logged over 1,250 hours, assembling more than 30,000 car parts with a staggering 99% success rate, pushing corporate valuations to an estimated $21 to $28 billion.
But a brain needs a body, which brings us to the hands and the heart of hardware breakthroughs. Meet the hands, the 1840mm refined row hand, equipped with the Taschen multi-modal tactile sensor. It features 6 degrees of freedom, a 30-kilogram max load, and hypersensitive 0.1 Newton force resolution. By fusing pressure, temperature, and friction data, it actively predicts and prevents slip on fragile items. Now meet the heart. Historically, robots were chained to a 2 to 4 hour battery limit, but the solid-state future changes everything. Anom-free solid-state batteries completely eliminate fire risks, enabling truly safe human-robot coexistence. By 2035, we are looking at a projected 900 times surge in humanoid battery demand, with solid-state capturing 70% of the market. This hardware revolution completely rewrites the economics of automation. We are abandoning the heavy friction of capital expenditures, like high upfront costs, isolated ROI, and rapid depreciation. Instead, we are entering the operational flow of the RaaS economy, or robot-as-a-service. This means subscription scalability, KPI-focused deployment, and automated over-the-air updates integrating AI agents, autonomous mobile robots, and cloud-native workflows into seamless hyperautomation. The global RaaS market is skyrocketing from $2.21 trillion in 2025 to an explosive $14.56 trillion by 2035, riding a massive 21.2% compound annual growth rate.
Naturally, this ignites a labor crisis. The World Economic Forum and ILO are warning of a 40% reduction in traditional manufacturing roles, alongside 20 to 30% cuts in corporate back-office jobs by 2026. Physical AI executes with infinite analytical scale, 24/7 endurance, and autonomous precision. To survive, we must adopt the Centaur strategy, blending robot supervisors and AI strategists to fuse human domain expertise with machine orchestration. It elevates the human premium, high-touch empathy, ethical accountability, and unstructured problem-solving. This transformation profoundly alters human resources. We are moving away from legacy structures with rigid top-down annual goals and delayed, biased evaluations. Welcome to AI transformation, where dynamic KPIs adjust in real time based on workflow data, supported by AI-assisted feedback scoring. However, this introduces severe risks like algorithmic bias and 24/7 machine-induced burnout. The solution is the explainable AI mandate. The machine must visually explain its reasoning, providing technical judgment, while emotional support and ultimate accountability remain strictly human. As these agents embed into our lives, theoretical ethics are dead. We have entered the era of forced compliance and legally binding regulations. The stakes are multi-million-dollar fines and total exclusion from global markets, where failure to comply means your physical operations halt instantly. Look at Korea's AI Basic Act, heavily regulating software, ethics, and high-impact AI. If an autonomous system operates without a human control loop in one of 11 critical sectors, like hiring, credit, or medical fields, and poses a high risk to human safety or discrimination, it is designated as high-impact AI. This triggers mandatory corporate obligations. You must use digital watermarking or face a 30 million won fine. You must retain lifecycle safety records for 5 years, and global tech giants must designate a domestic proxy. Meanwhile, hardware is policed by Europe's ISO 10218-2025 standard. It moves beyond regulating a simple robot arm to governing the entire collaborative application, meaning the robot, its tools, and its environment. System integrators are now legally liable as manufacturers. It mandates integrated cybersecurity threat assessments and enforces strict physical safety limits, separating crushing from bouncing contacts, alongside complex space monitoring.
To survive this, isolated corporate R&D is no longer enough. AI survival requires a localized, ecosystem-wide effort. Right here in our own backyard, local initiatives are leading the charge. Through KAI cities, local governments are integrating with the Mars Alliance, partnering big tech with municipal infrastructure. We are seeing smart manufacturing seamlessly integrated with AMR fleets, alongside an 85 billion won venture influx driving autonomous transit and citizen safety grids. On a national scale, the central government is executing a 550 trillion won economic strategy. This means deploying over 1,000 specialized AI robots across 10 sectors by 2028 and expanding humanoid test sites to 30. We are building a sovereign world model by harvesting cross-pillar data, establishing AI hardware hubs in Saemangam for solid-state battery R&D, and expanding autonomous vehicle testing to 3,000 units nationwide. How do we navigate this? By executing the Hyper-Gap strategy. Just as we draft our own 2026 corporate AI integration roadmaps, we must execute the Centaur model, elevating human labor to moral judgment while delegating physical tasks. We must treat compliance not as a burden, but as a fundamental license to operate, preemptively internalizing global safety mandates as core engineering foundations. And we must push for vertical integration, unifying foundation models, battery supply, and RaaS into one seamless engine. Looking toward the 2030 horizon, we are witnessing the grandest redesign of human productivity. Physical AI is not the end of human labor. The economic victors of the next decade will be those who relentlessly push the boundaries of technological integration while maintaining strict, transparent ethical governance. That's it for today. Turtle out.